British Petroleum Company Corporate Social Responsibility. Organizations worldwide have used diverse ways to implement corporate social responsibility, CSR, ranging from focusing on social responsibility to including environmental responsibility, green supply chain, corporate citizenship, and sustainability programs. The present paper not only investigates how British Petroleum, BP, implements socially responsible practices into its operating procedures, but also evaluates the impact of these practices on the company's stakeholders. Company overview. With well-established operations spanning all continents, BP is a leading integrated oil and gas company engaged in providing customers with fuel for transportation, energy for heat and light, lubricants to keep engines moving, and petrochemicals used to make everyday items as diverse as paints, clothes, and packaging. The company has over 80,000 employees, most based in Europe and the United States. In 2013, the economic value generated by BP stood at $403.3 billion, while its economic value distributed to others stood at $342.6 billion. Stated commitments to CSR. BP's stated commitments to CSR include supporting communities' efforts to increase income and improve standards of living, striving to be a world-class operator, a responsible corporate citizen, and a good employer, working to avoid, minimize, and mitigate environmental impacts in its areas of operations, engaging in joint venture partnerships with other companies to address carbon and climate risk, empowering employees, and investing in alternative energies. BP's CSR performance. In terms of employee/labor relations, the company has performed well in encouraging women participation in leadership, facilitating workforce diversity and inclusion, attracting and retaining the best talent through strategic recruitment, rewarding employee performance through executive remuneration and other benefits, building capability through leadership development, and entrenching a code of conduct that defines its commitment to higher ethical standards. Regarding environmental impacts, BP has received much support globally for its hands-on standpoint on environmental challenges, most notably for not only investing heavily in technologies aimed at reducing the carbon footprint, but also advocating for the use of alternative energy sources such as biofuels and wind energy. In particular, BP has performed well in monitoring national and international climate and energy policy developments, encouraging the growth of natural gas and other low-carbon energy sources, educating customers on the efficient use of fuels and engine oils, and mass planting trees to reduce the carbon footprint. The social impacts of BP's CSR initiatives have been witnessed in the company's attempt to support communities' efforts to increase income and improve living standards through supporting small business ventures, investing in healthcare and education, and offering employment opportunities to the local people. However, it should be remembered that the company has been accused of human rights abuses in Colombia, corruption and lack of transparency in Angola, and associating with tainted companies. Lastly, it can be argued that BP has performed extremely well in complying with the law, national and international standards, and social, economic, and environmental reporting initiatives. Although the company faces diverse and complex laws and regulations owing to its operations in around 80 countries worldwide, it has been largely successful in managing the applicable legal and regulatory health, safety, security, and environmental obligations through its operating management system. Assessment. Drawing from the above exposition, it is evident that BP's CSR policies substantially affect its actions, as witnessed by how the company has continued to allocate vast amounts of money to drive the mentioned CSR initiatives. The company's actions are driven by its desire to maintain a low carbon footprint in the atmosphere, its aspiration to develop human resources to their fullest potential, and its obligation to support the local communities to increase income and improve living standards. CSR policies affect the company's competitiveness, reputation, and stock price in national and international markets. Consequently, BP is more likely to attract more talented employees due to its attractive employee/labor relations, not to mention that it is likely to develop a positive reputation in areas in which it has engaged in activities to support local communities in their efforts to increase income and improve living standards. In recent years, customers have increasingly identified with responsible organizations that take care of the environment and practice green supply chain operations to reduce their carbon footprint. This implies that BP will continue to be competitive as it is engaged in all these efforts, lending credence to the assertion that the company will be better off than it would have been if it stuck to a framework where its only responsibility is to provide profits to shareholders. Conclusion. Overall, it is evident that BP has done remarkably well in its CSR policies and initiatives. Owing to its quest to conduct its operations using the triple bottom line approach, social, economic, environmental, the company continues to win the hearts of many suppliers, customers, employees, community members, and other stakeholders, implying that it will continue fulfilling its obligations to its shareholders, the community, as well as the environment. However, the company must limit its association with tainted companies and seal loopholes that could lead to corruption. The company also needs to invest more in reducing its environmental carbon footprint, bearing in mind that it deals with products that have been criticized mainly for their increased contribution to global warming.